The main one is 28 days, 30 days, 32.
After staying home for several months from school because neither she nor her parents could afford a sanitary pad, Yaa Afrakuma has 15 years down the line decided to provide hope for young girls who might find themselves in her shoes. By forming the Grooming Girls Network, she partners with friends to provide reusable sanitary pads for girls of school-going age. For her, this is a passion that gives her happiness.
15 years ago, I also missed school because my mom couldn't afford to buy me pads, so I had to stay in the house. I was using rags, and the rags experience wasn't comfortable, so I preferred to stay in the house instead of going to school and staining my uniform with blood, and I'll get the boys laughing at me. And I realized that the issue is still persistent after 15 years. We still have a lot of girls in the rural communities, especially missing school, and some have become pregnant due to pad because the men end up luring them with sex for pad.
According to the United Nations Children's Fund, 1 in 10 female children in sub-Saharan Africa miss school at a point during their periods because of lack of access to menstrual products, especially sanitary pads. This puts these girls at risk of missing from 10 to 20% of their school days. Back home in Ghana, about 95% of girls sometimes miss academic activities due to the same phenomenon. Today, as the world celebrates Menstrual Hygiene Day, Yaa is heading to Savlugu in northern Ghana to give young girls some of her reusable sanitary pads, as she explains the rationale behind her initiative.
This initiative we started like 3 years ago, where we were distributing the disposable pad. Period poverty in Ghana is very high. Research has indicated that 95% of girls in rural communities especially miss about 20% of school because they don't have access to sanitary pad. It was heartbreaking. It's not something that I can sit and watch any other girl go through because it's sad and depressing.
Over the years, people who take the front role on menstrual hygiene advocacy have been women because it is believed they understand what girls go through. But this does not seem to be a deterrent to a group of young men who are seeking to change the narrative and help young girls deal with menstruation. The PR boys, as they choose to be known, are embarking on a project to pad 5,000 underprivileged girls for 5 years in a project called Let's Pad Them. Kofi Atiemo is one of the brains behind this initiative.
Our project is 5,000 in 5, so 5,000 girls in 5 years. So we are not just providing for the girls for a year, we are providing for them for the 5 years. So when we go to one community and we give them for the whole year, it is not just for that year. For the next 5 years, we are providing for those girls in that community. When we spoke to some of the girls in the village, they mentioned that once in a while, their moms are able to get them one for them to use. If not, they just find a rag that is a little clean, they wash, they dry it, and then they put it into their panties.
Ghana currently has 20% import tax on menstruation materials because it is considered a luxury item. But many have asked this question. Menstruation is not a luxury, so why tax it? Abel Delali is an advocate for the Don't Tax My Period campaign, and she thinks it is the lack of interest on the part of government that has caused a delay in the waiving of the 20% tax on menstrual products.
The government is very capable to waive all these taxes that have made our period products very expensive. And they are necessities. These period products are necessities. And I think that when the government is more interested in it, at the end of the day, they can even make some money out of it.
In the interim, though, she believes government can do this to help young girls in the country.
Number one, waive all taxes on period products. Number two, give tax waivers and tax relief for local manufacturers so that they'll be able to produce in bulk. Three would be to supply these menstrual products to every school, every single school, to ensure that these people are able to menstruate with all their dignity.